Welcome to this week's Autumn Journal Reflection. As we journey through this season of surrender, I invite you to pause, breathe, and create a sacred space for yourself. Whether you're listening while taking a quiet walk, sitting in your favorite corner at home, or finding a moment between the busyness of your day, know that this time is yours to reconnect with your deepest self and with the divine. This week, we'll be exploring transitions and trust, allowing it to gently guide our thoughts, prayers, and intentions. As you listen and later reflect in your journal, remember that this practice isn't about perfection. It's about presence. It's about honoring the unique path God has designed specifically for you. So settle in, open your heart, and let's begin this week's journey together. Your authentic voice and honest reflections matter deeply, not just to your own growth, but to the beautiful tapestry of purpose you're co-creating with your Creator to bring to the world. Week 3, Transitions and Trust. Transitions are sacred thresholds, spaces between what was and what will be. They're the holy pause between the inhale and exhale, the luminous twilight between day and night, the tender veiled space where God's transforming work unfolds in whispered secrets. Yet for all their sacredness, transitions can feel unsettling, uncertain, even overwhelming. Autumn is perhaps nature's most beautiful lesson in navigating transition with trust. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 read, "Trust God from the bottom of your heart. Don't try to figure out everything on your own. Listen for God's voice in everything you do, everywhere you go. He's the one who will keep you on track." Trust in transition isn't about having all the answers. It's about knowing who holds the questions in His eternal hands. It's the deep, soul-stirring knowing that the same God who paints the leaves in glorious color before they fall, who breathes life into their final display of beauty, is the same God who will awaken new buds when His perfect time arrives, like morning light breaking through darkness. Observations of seasonal living. Transitions require both courage to let go and faith to move forward. The most profound growth often happens in the uncomfortable in-between spaces. Trust doesn't eliminate uncertainty, it provides anchor in the midst of it. Sometimes we have to release our grip on what was to receive what's coming. Sensory notes. Texture. Soft flannel against the skin. Sound. Wind moving through changing leaves and the distant call of evening birds. Scent. Earth preparing for rest and the smoky sweetness of evening fires. Feeling. The tender ache of beautiful change and the deep peace of surrender. Can we talk about transitions for a minute? Because honestly, they're some of the hardest spaces to navigate, aren't they? There's something about being in that in-between place, not where you were, not quite where you're going either, that can make you feel completely disoriented. It's like standing in a doorway and you can't decide if you want to step back into what's familiar or move forward into the unknown. But here's what I'm learning about this in-between space. It's all about being willing to hold the tension in full trust. And let me tell you, that's not easy. There's something so counterintuitive about opening your hands and releasing what needs to fall away, especially when you can't see what's coming next. But I'm discovering that when we do let go, when we trust enough to release our grip, new growth really does emerge. And honestly, we can be as surprised as anyone about what that flourishing actually looks like. How we live changes when we embrace this beautiful mystery of trusting God with our transitions. He's the one who created us, who designed us with such intentional purpose. So when we follow His leading, even when it feels uncertain or scary, we keep growing into who we were always meant to be. We get to reflect His heart and bring forth beauty and goodness in ways that are uniquely ours. ways we were specifically made for. And sometimes that looks nothing like we thought it would, but it's always more beautiful than we could have ever planned ourselves. The same God who's been faithful in every season before this one isn't going to abandon us now. You know those moments when the leaves are at their most beautiful right before they fall? That's not an accident. Even in the letting go, even in the transition, God is painting something gorgeous. And if he can make something that beautiful out of what looks like an ending, imagine what he's preparing in the spaces we can't see yet. Prompts to prayerfully process. Transitions ask us to practice trust in real time. Whether we're navigating changes in relationships, work, family, health, or simply the natural progression of seasons, these threshold spaces invite us to lean into faith rather than fear. God meets us there in these vulnerable places with particular tenderness. What transitions are you currently navigating in your life? Where do you feel God inviting you to trust him more deeply? What would it look like to release your grip on the outcome and rest in his faithfulness? Season of now. Find a quiet space where you can sit comfortably. Close your eyes and place both hands over your heart. Feel it beating steadily. This heart that has carried you through every transition you've ever faced. Take a slow breath and remember, you have never been abandoned in the in-between spaces. The same faithfulness that has carried you this far will carry you forward. Speak this prayer slowly. God, you know the transitions I'm facing. Help me trust your timing, your goodness, your plan that's bigger than what I can see. In the space between what was and what will be, help me rest in you. Feel your heart beating. This is the rhythm of trust, beating faithfully whether you feel confident or uncertain. Natural observation. Watch how nature handles transition with such elegant trust. The caterpillar doesn't resist the cocoon. It surrenders completely to becoming something entirely new. The seed trusts the dark soil to transform it into something greater. The river doesn't fight the bend. It flows around obstacles, carving new paths with patient persistence. Every transition in nature requires an element of faith. Faith that the process is good and that the timing is right, that what's coming will be worth what's being released. What is surrounding you in the season? Describe what you see outside your window, what you feel on your skin, what you hear in the air. If this moment of transition could speak to your soul, what encouragement might it offer? Where do you feel the invitation to trust more deeply? What would it feel like to release control and rest in God's faithfulness? Sacred awareness, sacred pauses. Where have you seen God's faithfulness in past transitions? What gives you courage when facing uncertainty? Divine details. How is God showing up in small ways during this season of change? What unexpected gifts are you discovering in the in-between spaces? Spirit's movement. What is God asking you to release as you move forward? How is your faith growing through this transition? Sacred spaces. Where do you feel most able to trust God with your uncertainties? What physical space helps you remember His faithfulness? 90 Days of Intention, Week 3. Growth. How did I choose trust over fear this week? Reflection. What is this transition teaching me about God's character? Celebration. How will I honor the growth happening in this in-between space? The God that designed and formed you knows you better than you know yourself. Your Creator planted the seeds of His image uniquely in you and desires to co-labor with you in revealing the beauty of His goodness and mercy in the world. He desires to walk with you through every season and is faithful to complete what He started in you.